I follow the North Star down to Gorky Park, listening to the wind of change. A drunken summer night, slowly passing by, listening to the wind of change. When I sing, it takes away all the shit. It takes away all the crap that makes life, and it just puts me into a whole different spot, into a whole different place. Future's in the air, I feel it everywhere.
Well, I'm a musician anyway, and I've done a little bit of conducting of choirs and things in the past. And when I saw this in an email, I think this would be a great way to continue that. And it's also for a bunch of people who haven't had a lot of opportunities, kind of in their life. And so far, it's been a little bit up and down in terms of people coming, but when people are there, they generally have a great time.
I kind of would say it is a training thing, because Tim puts a lot of thing into it, and he gets it to so that it becomes ours as opposed to what the author had done in it. So we get to put our own common ground spin on it. I also think we get to listen to each other, so we're really honing in on each other. So you learn that skill of communication, understanding, working in pitch with each other. You get to listen who's really high and who's really soft, and work around that. So there's a lot of learning in it as well, so which is really cool.
We have done some performances and they've been great, and so in that respect I'd like to actually think that we're more achieving something, that we're becoming a little vocal group. Not a choir, because it's never going to be that big, and actually refining how people sing, and refining how people sing, and then refining the songs so that they're actually good.
I can feel myself waking up again. I can feel myself starting to come back to life, and I believe that this place is a springboard for that. You know, I'm not going to be here all my life. I believe that this is the place that's going to help me to become socially acceptable. Yeah.
I can't sing, but I'm in the choir. I don't know why. I just went along one day and kept going, and now I'm in the choir.
My home, my place, for you.
This library was totally bare. There's no books, there's nothing in here. And we didn't really have a model. We had to sort of create a model of how this was going to work. And so Camille and I went to IKEA and bought lots of colourful things, and just thought it's really important to create a space, because you can't really learn in a vacuum, and learning is very, it's a social activity. You interact with people, and I think the surrounds are really important. So we wanted to make it a place for people to come, to feel very welcome, and to just relax, and it to be a nice little kind of break from maybe some hard stuff that was going on. So as important as the learning was, so too was creating a rapport, and creating a place that was warm, inviting, safe, in which we could cater to whatever each individual needed.
I know how to read and write pretty well, but I just got to learn a bit of mathematics, which is hard for me. I don't find that quite easy.
Sometimes we can be in such a rush to push someone to where we want them to be, and to have all these great goals for them, and in our minds what they should be achieving. But I've really learnt to taper that back, and a huge achievement for someone might be in my scheme of things just a small thing, but you see progress, but you have to totally abandon what your concept of progress is.
I've just got to learn adding up maths, like money, sums, because I'm going to try and get a job at Victoria Market selling fruit.
So if someone just comes in and has gained confidence and is optimistic after being here a few months, then that's massive to me. So these kind of tick the box kind of educational goals or expectations don't really apply here, because we're dealing with people with lives and often with a lot of trauma and a lot of stories.
When I was first homeless at 16, I didn't know about Salvation Army or Osman House, and I just put 3 cushions, a blanket and a pillow underneath a hall near the creek, and I lived down the creek for 3 years.
You kind of throw out the rule book, and in a way it's been quite freeing, because you just take each day as it comes, you roll the punches, and it's been good for a control freak like me to just let go and just see what eventuates.
$1 a kilo, $1 a kilo. Selling once and only this week. $1 a kilo, $1 a kilo.
We march day and night by the Commonground tower. They run the plant, but we run the power.
I do like getting people excited about, in particular, you know, making their own media. To be able to get that soul inside that person to come out and say something in whatever form, and I guess in a new media, multimedia kind of way, is really exciting. It's a good way of working with what can be a really frustrating and actually a sterile medium too.
My goals with CAE are just to gather information and learn new tricks and new spelling techniques and new ways to do media. Look, I'm not here to do everything in one shot. Here to learn slowly, and yeah. I'm just happy I can spell a couple more words, so yeah. Well, that's what I think anyway.
What am I doing here, and is it actually making a difference? Am I prepared enough? And am I listening? What am I doing, sort of thing? That's been the personal challenge. And then, of course, just the frustration of, hey, you know, I'm not getting the regular person in each week, or what's going to happen next week, and then there might be a completely different tangent that we might go off on, and just trying to keep up with what people want. And I suppose staying relevant.
Now, Michelle, you may run out of thread, so to stop that agony, do you want to wind on a new bobbin? Sometimes you feel that you are a teacher here. Sometimes you do feel like you're teaching art and craft, or craft and design, and then sometimes you're also a mentor. So you can really turn it up, just a minimum hem, and just use your tape measure and measure it all the way around. So I would say a hem of about, say, 3 centimetres is nice and gives it a nice weight. It's been a liberating and mercurial experience, and quite, overwhelming in lots of ways. Liberating in terms of letting me into people's lives and how they've been and what they've become. And the learning's not just in a tangible way. The learning is something that's, I think, the participants take away with them. Yes, the trust that they've built here and the friendship.
It's about talking to people about the power of art and the way that that art can change the way we perceive things and our position in the world. And you know, as I think it was George Bernard Shaw said, art may not be the most crucial thing in life, but without it, what a boring place the world would be. Something along those lines. I really love that sort of idea of, you know, I'm not saying that art is, you know, by any means the most crucial thing. And I mean, it is for me because I'm an artist, so it's kind of what I do. But I think it's also good for people here to know that that's what I do. Like, I'm not someone who kind of likes art but works as a, I don't know, whatever, a lawyer or something, and just does a bit of art in his spare time. I am an artist. I just love more people here, and because everyone has a story, and a lot of people, I guess, lose confidence in life, and a lot of people who are residents here have had a pretty hard time. So I think a lot of people will go, oh, I can't draw or I can't paint, and that's not what I'm about. It's all about expression, and I can't draw, I can't paint particularly well myself. I'm okay, but yeah, I just think that quite often the most beautiful sort of expressions of oneself can be in very, very basic sort of, naive, almost naive ways of working.
Moving forward, just to come here, change your life, move forward, and forget about your past and move on. That's about it, What you've done in your past is there, and you can't change it, but you can always move forward. And yeah, that's the inspiration.
It's been a challenge, and I don't mean that in a weasel word kind of way, but it has been a challenge. And it's been very useful for my general teaching experience. Yeah, and I think it's been useful for them. I'm not sure, them being the students that I have sometimes. Once you've got a project that they like, the guy who's making the letters loves the letters. The person who's doing the chess set loves the chess set. And it's hard, in many ways it's hard once you've got somebody going, it's hard to pull them back a bit and say, yes, well, I'd like to do that in 14-piece mould, but maybe a 1-piece mould or a 2-piece mould would be more appropriate. It's difficult to think that anyone can get anything out of a program that's offered but has no take-up. I mean, attendance is a very good indicator of results.
The input from the students, from our clients here, is just amazing. I learn something every week. Every week someone from a different cultural background will tell me how I can improve that recipe.
Here you get to eat. It's a comfortable environment. There's a group that comes in every week, and it's all different people, and you get to learn the different cultures of people's cooking, and you see different styles of cutting up of vegetables and people doing different types of preparation that are vastly different from what you would do. Some people cut an onion better, some people cut a garlic better, some people cut up vegetables differently to some others, so it's a flavoury thing, because if you cut the onion up small, the flavour goes through. If you cut it up big, you've got a less bulky flavour.
We have thousands of recipes to share, and we have so many ideas from everyone here, so it's endless. For me, my head is full of food and recipes.
We access every week, we go up and get some herbs and spices and chilies and things for the cooking class, and we use them, we utilise them. It's good to know that there's fresh resources in the building to be used for cooking. It makes it a homely environment.
I have genuinely enjoyed the journey with the teachers. I think they have been absolutely fantastic and pivotal to the success of the program, and they've been so flexible in terms of their approach, consistent, gentle in their presence with people, sometimes not. So very responsive, and adaptable, and very person-centred, which is lovely, and to see them just move with a sort of fluidity, which I guess is what true teaching is about.
It's almost time to start now, if that makes sense. I think that we've learnt so much, and there's been so much that's changed because we started at the same time as Commonground started, that a lot of the learning curve that's happened with establishing this really radical approach to housing we've been part of as well. And so there's been all of this learning that's gone on this year. So it does feel to an extent like we're almost at ground zero now, and it would be really good to now take this to the next stage and really sort of take what we've learnt from this and start to really make it fit where this place is going next, where the people here are going next, and where we can potentially grow with the learners here.
I'd like to see it keep going and changing new classes and stuff, because it's been a really positive thing for everybody, and I think it helps people sort of keep sort of grounded, sort of stops them from going off and doing other unsavoury sorts of things, I guess, because they're occupied. Distraction, that's the key.
I believe that the CAE program does create a vibrancy and a life, and I think without it, Elizabeth Street Commonground could just be a building, an infrastructure, a skeleton, if you like. That's a bit morbid, but the CAE, the CAE, it brings life and energy into the building. So on some levels, yes, if it was just purely accommodating people, it would be achieving significant advances just in there alone. But the fact that people get to dip their toe in the pond and try different things and re-engage with skills that they've had, or bring their diverse sort of learning skills and backgrounds into play, I think is fantastic. Experiencing new things for the first time, like somebody who has tasted mango in health and wellbeing. That was a highlight for me. She'd never had a mango before. So there's some really, the artwork that we've got in here. So this particular space is indicative of sort of ideally what the whole place could be like in terms of the warmth and the colour and the energy.
Don't worry, be happy now. Now there's this song, I wrote it. I hope you learned it note for note. Like good little children. Be happy. Don't worry, people. Be happy. Listen to what I say. In your life you may expect some trouble, but when you worry you make it double. Don't worry, people. Be happy. Put a smile on your face. Don't worry, it'll soon pass, whatever it is. I'm not worried. Look at me, I'm happy. Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry, be happy now.